let's bring in the former acting ICE director, Ron Vitello. And Ron, this really is extraordinary information. I mean, you've got on this letter, you've got 2 full pages of offenses that more than 425,000 illegal immigrants who are allowed into this country have committed, highlighted by the fact that there are 13,099 who have criminal convictions for murder, and there are 1,845 who have pending charges against them, 15,811 who have criminal convictions for rape or other sexual assault, and an additional 4,250 who have pending charges. Where did the system break down?
Well, thanks for inviting me. Yeah, this is the symptom of the chaos that we've seen at our border during the presidency of Joe Biden and the vice presidency of Kamala Harris. When they took over, the illegal migration across the southwest border was at 50-year lows, and now it's at unprecedented numbers for the last 3+ years. And the non-detained docket, which is the population that we're talking about here, within the non-detained docket, that's 8 million people. So even if 1% of that 8 million were a threat to public safety, and obviously the numbers that you're showing, those people are putting us all at risk. Every city, every town in the United States is at risk because we know that the system was overwhelmed for many, many years, and now a non-detained docket of 8 million people mean there are people walking among us in almost every single city and town in the United States who were not invited here, that jumped the wall and came into the United States illegally and are plying their trade as a cartel member, as a gangster of some other kind, of someone who's abusing children or trafficking other human beings. And that's what happens when sanctuary cities conflate with a chaotic border. We are all at risk.
Every single American is at risk. Let me restate that. Kamala Harris has put every single American at risk, including stupid Democrats who are actually voting for her, including feckless white dudes for Harris. The failed border czar has indeed made every state a border state, made every community a border community. For what? There can only be one reason.
You know, Ron, as we learn this breaking news, I'm sure there's people at home going, this is an emergency. Like, where is the DHS secretary to speak to these numbers, to tell us what we're doing about it, right? And it's one thing to say, okay, well, candidate Trump is pitching to fix the problem. Perhaps Kamala Harris lays out to her supporters the way she plans to fix the problem at the border. But these people are already here.
They wanted them here. You have to accept that. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't incompetence. It was obviously intentional. The first job of a president and a vice president, the first job is to protect America and Americans. They intentionally failed.
Forgive me if I'm not really up on the law. I came into this country as a legal immigrant 32 years ago. And it seemed to me at the time that something like a murder conviction would make somebody ineligible to immigrate to this country, either legally or illegally. I mean, am I getting that wrong?
That's correct. If you get convicted of murder, is in your example, you're subject to deportation. And if an immigration officer finds you and takes you into custody, then you'll have a hearing with the judge.
So then why are these people still in the country?
Well, most of those folks that are on the non-detained docket are here illegally. They've been addressed at the border, have been released with a notice to appear.
Right,
others have been in the country.
But why are they still here?
Because you have the conflagration of sanctuary cities and an immigration system that it doesn't have the kind of resources or the will, frankly, under this administration to take this problem in hand and go after the worst of the worst.
Unbelievable. I mean, I think Bill Malugin said it. This is a jaw dropper. People have had enough.
How about you? Have you had enough yet? I've been telling you for months. Scream it from the rooftops. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. I truly hope at this point that's how you feel, and that you're now compelled to take some massive action.
Look, I stood with President Trump when he actually went to the border, to areas that is, notorious for drug smuggling and human smuggling. He stood there. He spoke to the agents. He's been speaking to the boots on the ground for over 8 years. He's spoken to them, asking what's going on. He's gone through the National Border Patrol Council numerous times. He stood there for over an hour in over 100-degree heat with victims of families of from illegal aliens, and he spoke to reporters.
From ICE today.
Vice President Harris went down there, and she spoke to 2 members of management. She didn't speak to agents. She spoke to 2 members of management. And I'm going to tell you, I bet money that even those 2 members, I feel bad for them because I guarantee you they didn't even want to be there. But she spoke to these 2 members of management, and she was there for 20 minutes for a photo op. That's all she did. President Trump actually cares, and he's actually gone down there and met with boots on the ground, and he's done it multiple times for long times every single time he's been there. This is just nothing but a complete photo op. That's all it is. It's her Hail Mary before the election.
Now, no one else will show you these scenes we're showing you, but what you're looking at is a frenzy of Harris staffers wrangling photographers to get the perfect picture as fast as possible so they can all get the hell out of there and just say they visited the border. Kamala was only actually at the border from 6:11 p.m. to 6:30 p.m., less than 20 minutes. That's not visiting the border. That's just a photo op.
You and your friends, your coworkers, your family are being gaslit. You're being played like a fool. They are openly insulting and laughing at your intelligence. You are watching a Hollywood production, the royal scam, the grand illusion, all combined into one. Nothing is real. Everything is fake. The mainstream media, what a joke of a term that is simply ignoring this epic intentional failure. They are complicit. It's on me. It's on you. It's on all of us to fight like hell and get the word out about this massive intentional destruction of America.
In the real world, she would be toast. And I don't like getting riled up for no reason because this story is so unbelievable. I wanted to see if it was reported elsewhere. You know, it couldn't find it on MSNBC, CNN, Drudge. You have the release of hundreds of thousands of foreign criminals, like they emptied the jails, raped thousands of rapists, thousands of murderers. And on the pages of all of these networks, the death of Maggie Smith, which is sad, great actress, Lana Del Rey's marriage, P. Diddy rumors, but nothing about what is easily one of the most big, probably the biggest crime story I've ever seen. So we know that Democrats watch this show. Some of them hate watching. But if you're watching this, the media doesn't want you to know this information. They don't want it to reach you. They would rather you die or be raped than Trump be right or find out the truth. So you can hate Fox all you want. You can hate Trump all you want. You can hate me. But you can't hate yourself and your family so much that you're going to ignore a story that puts them in danger. Now, even if these numbers are off by 50%, please, I think that the fact checkers should fact check it. You know, tell us, no, it's not 16,000 rapists. It's only 8,000. It's only 7,000 murders. Cool. I'm glad you're okay with that. I'll take your fact check. But anybody who defends this or says it's not that big a deal is complicit, and they should be held accountable. Every victim of every crime by the people that are in here that we haven't vilified, who are actual villains, you need to file a class action suit against this government. You know, these bastards were more offended by stories of cats being eaten than real stories reported here of actual rape and murder. And if you ask why those other stories existed, it was the only way to get these a-holes in the media to even look at this story. They can only see immigration as a gotcha moment for political gain. There are actual people that are dying. This is a huge story. Where is it?
Every CEO of any company supporting Kamala Harris needs to be called out right now. Every vendor working in any capacity on her campaign should be made to face the music. Every single staffer, I don't even care if they're volunteers, every single one of them also needs to be called out, and you got to make them face the music as well. And every media outlet needs to face the same music. They're all working together to take down, to eviscerate America.
The Director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement confirms that more than 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of murder have been caught at the border and then released into the United States. The letter here tells the tale. Hello, I'm John Roberts in Washington. You believe this, Sandra?
Which means they are here. And this is just an unbelievable development. I'm Sandra Smith in New York. Good to be with you, John. This is America Reports. Let's get right to Bill Malugin. He's got this news for us. He's live out of Douglas, Arizona right now, where Vice President Kamala Harris is set to visit later this afternoon. Bill, the details of this news, what do you have?
Yeah, and Sandra, bear with me. We just got these numbers moments ago, but it's a jaw dropper to say the least. So to set the stage here, let me just explain what these numbers mean. ICE has something called a non-detained docket. Essentially what that is it means migrants who were encountered by DHS but are no longer in federal custody. So who's on this non-detained docket?
Whoa. 13,000 murderers. Nearly 16,000 SA convicts. And 425,000 other convicts. And that's just the people they know. We don't even know how many people got away. This is astounding. It should be over. I love that they dropped this the day she went to the border. This should do it. Done. There's no excuse.
It's illegal immigrants who were caught and released at the border, released with the court date years away. They're in immigration proceedings, combined with illegal immigrants who have already been ordered, deported from the country by
I wonder, we'll have to look up and find out how many convicted murderers there are in our jail system right now.
Judge, but are still here roaming the country. So keep that in mind, this non-detained docket. According to a letter that the acting director of ICE just sent to Texas Congressman Tony Gonzalez, on ICE's non-detained docket, they're currently tracking 425,000 non-citizens who have been convicted of a crime. Of that number, over 13,000 non-citizens have convictions for homicide and are on the non-detained docket, meaning they're roaming the country right now. On top of that, there are another 15,811 non-citizens convicted of sexual assault who are roaming the country right now on ICE's non-detained docket. It doesn't stop there. Those are convictions. The ICE director also says there are currently just under 1,900 non-citizens on the non-detained docket who have pending homicide charges who are roaming the country, and another 4,250 non-citizens who have pending sexual assault charges who are roaming the country on the non-detained docket. So people's eyes might be glazing over right now with all the numbers we just threw at you. Just to put it in a nutshell right here, what we've learned from the acting ICE director via this letter to Congressman Tony Gonzalez is right now there are over 13,000 illegal aliens convicted of homicide who are roaming the United States right now. There are another 15,811 illegal aliens roaming.
How can this be? How can we have convicted murderers running around free? How can we have 15,000 people who have done untoward stuff to women and children just running around? She let them all in. The Democrats don't care. They don't care about Americans. I would defy any troll in here, any Democrat to defend that. How do you possibly defend that? You can't even say the numbers are wrong because they come from, let me say, Mayorkas's department. This was them probably trying to tamp down. Who knows what the real numbers are? So you can't say the numbers are fudged because they put out the numbers. Oh yeah, we let in like 14,000 murderers. Yeah, sorry. Murderers. And you wonder why you need to get out there and get some ammo?
In the country right now who have been convicted of sexual assault, and there are even more who are facing charges for homicide and charges for sexual assault. So this just goes to show, guys, the non-detained docket has exploded under the Biden administration to over, I believe it's 7.3 million. They're anticipating it could hit 8 million by the end of the year. But looking at the numbers on this letter right here, there are currently over 600,000 non-citizens on ICE's non-detained docket who are either convicted, 600,000 non-citizens on this non-detained docket who are roaming the country right now.
600,000 600,000. I don't even know how many people we have in the military. So you're telling me 600,000 criminals have been let into this country, and you have no idea where they are? None. How is this possible? What are they trying to do to America? What are they trying to do to Americans who go to work every single day, pay their bills, pay their taxes, and now you're telling me you've let in 13,000 murderers? Dispersed them all over the country? Man, this is really bad. This is really, really bad. It's like 200, 300 guys, murderers, could be women, 300 per state. You just unleashed 300 murderers per state. Good luck. And you're wondering why this stuff is happening all over. You're telling me winning an election was this important? It is this important to you to usher in this globalism crap? It's not bad enough that you're doing all the other stuff with the taxation and the weird transformers. You had to bring in 600,000 criminals?
Of that, 425,000 have already been convicted of crimes. 222,000 are pending crimes. And again, the most serious crimes we just told you about.
This is not what America's supposed to be. I don't care who you are. At this point, you have to realize this is absolutely insane. And Kamala Harris had her hands in it with Dementia Joe. Unless she comes out and says we were forced to. This was, how the government was run because these puppet masters told us we had to do it. You better come clean. No wonder they're terrified of Trump, because as he's clearing out these nut jobs, he's going to have to. There is no doubt that he is going to have to go after these people in office. The treason that was effected upon America, there is no excuse. These people have to be in jail. Kamala Harris, y'all need to start cutting deals. This man, no wonder they want to take him out. No wonder that they're so terrified of him at being a threat to democracy. No, he's a threat to you. We all know what you've done. If you signed your hand to a piece of paper and told these people, let them all in, you have committed treason on America. You brought in the worst element of any country and said, yeah, have them in here for free. Let them run around. What kind of scumbag does that? What kind of person wants to put people in danger for a vote? For an ideology? Really? Are you really willing to just put people in complete danger just so you can get a vote, so you can make some money? Man. If we don't know who they are, how will Trump find them? That's going to have to be up to us. Exactly right, Barry. How bad is it that you have to do something like this? Gitmo's not big enough. Just think how many people in government have had their hands in this. Never mind the wars and what you've had kickback. This is unbelievable. I mean, it really is unbelievable. Tom Clancy couldn't write a novel like this. This is great. Yeah, we're going to bring in 600,000 criminals and just let them go all over the doggone country. It makes you wonder. I'm telling you right now, you really have to wonder whether or not Eric Adams in New York was right. Are they going after him because he started to speak up? Remember, the lady yesterday when I did the video, she said, it's been over a 10-year period of this corruption. Okay, 10 years. But now, because he speaks out against the newcomers, because we can't even say the flipping word, because we're not even allowed to talk as Americans in our own country, for failure of somebody flipping a switch on us because, nope, you can't talk this way about them. They're murderers. The other crime I can't even say. We have to basically choke down our words so that these people feel comfortable and they're not even supposed to be here. What happened to this country? How are any people, Democrats, libnuts, how are you defending this? God forbid somebody climbs in one of their windows. This is not going to end well. This is not going to end well at all. I think you all see it coming. I think everybody knows at this point, this isn't going to finish. It's going to be the purge. It is. People are going to take it into their own hands. You got a whole area of Florida right now that's either underwater or the waters are beginning to recede. And what's going to happen is a lot of those properties are going to be vacant for a while until people begin renovating them. They're going to renovate them. These people live on the coast for a reason. But what happens when these orcs decide, hey, there's some properties over here and nobody's here, so can we just like show up and do what we want? And then they meet the justice that'll inevitably come. The Mossberg justice. There's a sheriff over there who has openly said, hey, if people do stuff, take them out. And you know these nuts that they've imported don't understand here that people fight back. How could any person think it's okay to import 600,000 criminals, yet tell Americans you want to, we need to do something about these weapons. We can't have you have these, quote, assault weapons. No, we're going to have you do this background. Why are we going to go through all these background checks and jump through hoops and these people are murderers and you're letting them right in and giving them money? But Americans, we got to figure out a way to rein in this Constitution thing. You know why? Because this Constitution isn't working for us. What about these 600,000 people you brought in? Oh, you're making me sick. I could go on to this for an hour. I can't take it. I can't take it. Crazy. They're destroying the world. Yeah, we are being forced to pay. Yeah, you're exactly right. We are being forced to pay for 600,000 criminals to be imported into our country. Something's really wrong here. Maybe it is as simple as my wife says. It is just an evil force. At this point, there's no political or governmental sense that you can take about this. Why would you bring in 13,000 murderers? What? How do you sit down and go, you know what? Okay, so it looks like this guy's been convicted of chopping somebody's head off, and he's also wasted a couple other people. You're good. How does that even happen? How do you even know how many people this guy is offed? We don't know. We don't know in the backwoods of Mexico or El Salvador if he's chopped off people's heads. We don't know. You only know what this piece of paper says. This guy could have done it 10 times. And now you brought him in. And the media is telling that we're the bad people for questioning it. If you say the two words together, you know those two words. Illegal, and the other one, oh my God, you can't say that. Pretty soon they're going to tell us we can't say murderer. You watch it, it's coming. We can't say SA, can't say what those words mean. Damn, I need to. That's why we need that membership, because this is crazy. Y'all need to hear news as it's supposed to be given, not sanitized and washed and filtered. This is absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Yeah, you should be packing every single day. And if you live in a state where you can't pack, move. Move.
Would you call the border secure?
The border is secure.
You're confident this border is secure?
We have a secure border. As your president, I will secure our border